Blog Talk Radio.
It's your Wednesday night mess around, the Metal Hammer of Doom, and it is I, your host, your old pal Wheezy, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich, lap dance enthusiast. That's my newest nickname as of last night on the Damn You Hollywood show. Tonight we are continuing here in my car week. Hey, you, get out of my head and into my car. We reviewed Wacky Wasteland on Monday on the Source Material podcast. Last night, of course, the whole reason why we did here in my car week, we reviewed The Fate of the Furious on Damn You Hollywood. And tonight, Cars Rolls On. Cars Rolls On. That's the good English. With the Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard. Supersonic Rock and Roll, baby. Fueled by gasoline and weed out there in the barren northwest Victorian wasteland comes Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard. Slow groove-ridden, dirty slide stoner rock. That's what they call it. It's the missing link between Kyuss and Ministry. I, of course, have my co-host, the third chair, second chair, every chair, the disapproving dad, Mr. Jesse Starcher. However, we are currently working with Blog Talk Radio to try to get him in the queue because I don't see him. I know he's there. He's calling me and telling me so. But the good people at Blog Talk Radio are trying to fix the issue. So we are going to brawl and stall, as they say. Hang on. There isn't anyone connected to the guest line at the moment. I just dialed to make sure it is working. All right. Okay. Yep. Call back in. Call back in. Yep. I'm telling him to call back in now. All right. Let's see how this goes. Do 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 do. So as we wait for Jesse to call back in, hopefully we'll see him. You might be wondering, well, what made you decide to review Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard for here in my cars week? Literally, I was looking at upcoming albums earlier this year, and I happened to see this, and I was like, okay, this is something I want to check out. You know me and E.L. Jesse Starcher, who's here with us now. He's here in my car.
Beep, beep. Ooh, yeah.
All right. All right, let me thank Miss Sherry here.
Tar, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Wonderful,
yes,
wonderful
thank
customer
you.
service. Wonderful, wonderful.
Indeed. Glad we got that fixed, whatever the issue was. All right, anyway. So the reason why, so I happen to be looking at the upcoming albums for this year, and I saw this, and I was like, okay, well, I know Jesse and I both like the stoner rock, and, Cooper, for his dependability to be on the show, he may enjoy it as well. So I figured, all right, let's do this. And then I see you, sir. Just not getting your text.
I should have deleted that instead of hit return. Sorry about that. I am here.
You are here. You're here. You're queer. You don't want no bears.
Sure.
By the way, so I like to make an entrance. I don't know if you know that about me or not. But when I walk into the room, I like to let people know that I'm there. And so yesterday, I had to go to a meeting before work. Now, there are two facilities, and I went to our second facility to this meeting, and then I left, and I went to the facility that I normally work in, which is where central booking is located. And I walk into the charge nurse station, and I immediately just blurt out, "I'm here. I'm queer. I don't want no bed."
No.
To which the charge nurse turns to me and shushes me vociferously because she's on a meeting with management. She's on a conference call, you see.
Wonderful, wonderful.
She was responsible for everything said on said conference call, and she had no time for my queerness or bareness, as it were.
Dude, what is? Can you please explain the reference? Because I'm lost. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would have thought a Simpsons. I would have thought a graduate of the Simpsons University of Comedy would have gotten that one right off the bat.
Hey, boy, that's asking a lot of me. So, I'm not the enthusiast as our good friends Robert Winfrey and Benjamin J. Colon are. Boy, I'm kind of glad I got sick when they did that. I can't remember if they were doing. I can't remember what exactly they were doing. They were just going through a bunch of the Simpsons episodes, if I remember correctly. But anyway, regardless, I got sick that week and had to duck out of that podcast. Man, I would have been a man among gods. So Simpsons reference. Yeah, I'll get a few, but hey, I'll have to look that one up on YouTube.
Okay, yeah.
We're queer.
I don't want no. We don't want no
Let
bed.
me spell that.
Yeah, that's a bit. That's a bit from The Simpsons. All right. So anyway, back to the task at hand. We like the stoner rock here is the whole point of these shenanigans, and I thought, okay, at some point then I want to check this out. And we were going at a pretty good clip of albums as far as reviewing things as they came out. And I was like, so at some point we need to find space on the calendar for this. And I thought, well, why not review an album called Zombie Motors? Motors? Zombie Motors. On a
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity, that's right. On a week where we're going to do a whole bunch of shows related to cars. And why are we doing a whole bunch of shows related to cars? Because of the Fast and the Furious. Our next billion-dollar baby, here come the money. So that's what brought us to the dance. Now, you've listened to this album. Let's just get into this, okay? You've listened to this album, and we both went into it cold. I had no idea who these guys were. I think this is their first full-length feature LP that I'm aware of. I literally knew nothing else about this band, and you knew nothing about this, and we both listened to this album. And now you hate them as much as Slayer? Is that what I understood you to be saying to me?
What is this, like 4 weeks running? The same fucking joke. No, I don't. I certainly do not hate these guys. We'll get into it as we go through some of my issues with the album. But you know, I was kind of. Well, I'm putting this out there right now. Be prepared for a little bit of repetitiveness as you listen to the album. I'll throw in some examples as we go through and hit each song, but there's only a couple songs that kind of grind, really grind my gears. But other than that, we're going to be listening to some stuff. Yeah, I was a car reference. I didn't even know it either. I threw it in there. But yeah, there's a few songs. There's a few songs that really I didn't like, but I certainly don't hate them as much as I hate Slayer.
Everyone check out the horse in the corner. It's been beat to death. All right. Now, we don't generally do a lot of advertisements on this show. You're not going to hear us hawking Blue Apron or Stamps.com or any of that shit that you hear on any of those wrestling podcasts like Bruce Pritchard or What Happened When with Tony Schiavone, or the angriest podcast on the internet, Jim Cornette and his drive-through. We don't do none of that shit.
We just like to plug their podcasts on our podcast. That's about it.
Yeah, I like to give it away now.
Give it away now.
That's right. Oh, under the bridge downtown where I drew some blood.
That reminds me. Well, you tell me when, and I'll tell you the story about. You call me the disappointing dad, or wait a second, disapproving dad.
The disapproving dad. You get your gimmick straight, sir.
Hey, I'm not the one that fucking made it up. The disappointing. I had a very disappointing interaction with my dad over the weekend in regards to our favorite band, Clutch. So when you're ready, you cue me up. We'll save that till the middle of the album or whatever, and then we'll have ourselves a short little cry, and then we'll get back into it.
Jesse Starcher, this is the Wednesday night mess around. If it takes us 12 hours to actually get to fucking reviewing the thing, that's fine. But
all right.
But I want to go ahead and advertise something. This is the Wednesday night mess around, and we're here to have some fun. But if I could be serious for a moment, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while now, people know that I am in the good fight against cancer. I currently am diagnosed with large diffuse B-cell lymphoma. I ain't got no immune system. So I had a friend of mine, the whole point of me telling you about this, I had a friend of mine, a good buddy, Freak Boy, as he used to be known in the scoops or 411mania.com, Mr. John Brodigan. He made me a T-shirt, made my whole family a T-shirt, says "Fight Radulich, Fight" on it, and
nice.
that came out of a hashtag that my wife had been putting out there on Instagram and whatever other gay shit women like to do on the internet, the Facebook.
The Snapchat.
Snapchat, whatever, Grindr, Tinder, whatever. So anyway, yeah, she put out the hashtag "Fight Radulich, Fight," and she did that in reference to the fact that no matter how much the disease itself or the treatment itself, and sometimes the treatment can be worse than the disease, gets me down and makes me tired and puts me on my ass, I always get up and I fight the good fight.
That's right.
She's nodding her head vociferously. So "Fight Radulich, Fight" hashtag. And my friend kind of took that and ran with it, and he created a T-shirt that says "Fight Radulich, Fight" on it in red, white, and blue. If you don't know where that came from, that's sort of a mock-up of the Kevin Owens fight from the WWE. In any case, we are now selling that T-shirt. If you go to https://represent.com, Fight Radulich, Fight. That's fight, Radulich, fight. You will find my T-shirt for the low price of $24.99. And I'm just going to say, if you want a T-shirt, buy a T-shirt. Yes, we take a cut of said T-shirt sales. Yes, that money will be used in the fight against cancer. I'm not asking people to buy it for that reason. Buy the shirt if you want the shirt. If you want to rock a Fight Radulich, Fight T-shirt, join the fight against cancer and look good getting there, by all means, buy the T-shirt. I ain't no fucking charity case, though. So if you're buying it just because you want to throw money at me, well, that's fine, too. But just listen, I like Taco Bell. I'm just saying. I like it.
Awesome
I'll take
stuff,
a steak
man.
I'll take a steak from Denny's. Anyway, that's represent.com, Fight Radulich, Fight, if you want to buy the T-shirt, $24.99, a portion of which goes to the fight against cancer. All right, back to the show. Jesse Starcher, the disapproving dad. That's your gimmick, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Disapproving. What happened, sir? Before we get into Zombie Motors wrecking yard, who wrecked your yard? Who pissed in your cereal?
Oh, I know I've talked about some of the fun times that I've had with my dad when we've got to listen to music that we both enjoy. So usually around every Easter, Dad wants to go watch the races up in Attica. That's about a 3.5-hour trip. So we've got plenty of time to listen to whatever we want. And of course, with Spotify, that opens up a lot of avenues. That's, my dad's not the most technologically inclined. So, when I show him an app that will let you play just about any album you ever want to hear, we've got plenty of time on our hands. He's going to be the DJ on the way up. And I love most of the music that he listens to. So we listen to a good bit of stuff. We listen to some ZZ Top. We listen to some Led Zeppelin. We listen to some. One thing that he was really excited about listening to was some Grand Funk Railroad. So we listened to a good bit of that on the way back home that evening. Now, races ended about 11 o'clock, so we're on our way home, and we're probably about 5 miles away. And I said, Dad, we've listened to a good bit of this stuff. How about I'm going to switch it over. I'm going to play a little bit of some of my stuff, So first thing I did was I switched it over to some Clutch. I mean, I know my dad would probably appreciate some Clutch, especially like from the Beale Street to Oblivion album, things like that. So I turn on, I think, first thing I went to was something off of Psychic Warfare. And it was, oh my goodness, I can't remember. It's the one song. Anyway, regardless, Dad liked it. Okay. Next song, go to Beale Street to Beale Street. Yeah, go to that album. We listen to a couple songs, and Dad's like, "Man, I really like this." We go to the next song, like right after that. Dad's like, "Who is this?" It's like, "It's the same guys. This is Clutch, Dad." He's like, "Oh man, that sounds really good." And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of dig these guys. They kind of remind me of who is it? That band that what are they called? Oh yeah, it's Chad Kroger, and what's the name of his band again?" And I'm like, "Dad, you're talking about Nickelback?" Yeah.
Absolute shite. Crap. Feces.
Oh, I said, "Dad, pull over. I'm getting out of the car right now." Can you believe it? Now, here's the thing. I love my dad to death, and I've never, in the many years that we've known each other as adults, I've never really gotten upset with the man. And then he said that, and I had to restrain myself. I felt like and of course, Dad doesn't know Clutch from anybody. But then he's comparing him to Nickelback. I'm glad it was near the end of the trip. And now, granted, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so maybe that was weighing on it. Maybe that had a factor in it. But go ahead.
I have one question. When he said Nickelback, did you immediately yell back, "Nickelback? I wouldn't give you a penny back"?
I did not, sir. I did not. It was hard for me not to be like
wait. I cannot wait until June. Okay.
Oh, dude.
June 21st. Metal Hammer of Doom. Nickelback. Feed the machine, baby. I cannot wait.
Maybe I'll get my dad to call in. Say, "Hey, Dad, do me a favor. I want you to listen." And then we need to have a Clutch song ready to go. So I can go like, "Okay, now does this sound anything like what we just fucking heard?" Anyway, what a rough weekend.
All right, man. Let's get into this. God, I am not gonna be able to let go of that story. We may have now ended the Slayer bit because now I have to keep bringing up your dad and Nickelback and Clutch.
It's sad. It's sad.
Come on in, horsey. You're gonna join our collection. of dead, beaten horses.
Yeah, get the bats ready. The bats are at the ready. I'll beat the shit out of it.
All right. All right, speaking of beating things to death, here we go. Track 1. This is Grind the Grinder.
We all went down the devil's road, locked to where we pray. We all went down to see those girls, you know the ones that play. The big fat man with grease up hands, and like to knock him down. The footsteps flowing hard tonight, but that's good on our hands. So high, so high, grind the grinder, so high, so high, grinder. The devil man with the devil's plan said, son, you're ready to die. Well, I looked at him and I so hard. The devil man don't scare me. The big fat man with greased out hands, I'd like to knock him down. The footsteps blowing hard tonight, but that's get out of hand. So high, so high, grind the grinder, so high, so high, grind the grinder. Everybody listen up, the ceremony's about to begin. Take your hats off and take notice of Satan walking in. And all you ladies, obviously, niggas down, ready for me.
All right, so, I mean, I'm going to, right off the bat, I think the first time I heard this and I heard this song, I was like, all right, so we're off to a pretty good start here. This actually isn't the strongest track on the album. I mean, they come out of the gate pretty heavy, pretty good, but in terms of that dirty, dirty blues, stoner rock sound, there's better tracks on here. This is more of a, I think in a way it's a good intro track in the sense that, you know, it kind of kicks the door open and says, all right, this is the kind of band we are. This is the kind of songs you're going to get. But we've still got a couple more tracks to go before we really get into the meat of what this album and what this band is all about. So, you know, it's an average start.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. There's something strange in the songwriting here where it's almost like he intentionally does not rhyme shit, which is fine. There's songs that do that. That's, you know, that are passable, but it's like extremely obvious to me. Like when he says something about the pussy's flowing, and then he totally doesn't rhyme that with anything else right after that, and it just gets weird. And then at the end, I mean, it's a decent song, but then like near the end, all of a sudden we start getting this zombie sermon. It's talking about sinners and glory holes and cockroaches, and it's just it's a weird, I guess, representation of what the band's about. You made a good point where you said, okay, this is the kind of songs you're going to be getting. One of the reviews I read said that a lot of what you get is comparable to like B-movie and exploitation films. Like that is something that they tend to, the imagery that they bring up a lot in many of their songs. And at the end of the song, yeah, I can see that. It's almost like a B-movie horror flick. Where they're the way they're talking. So yeah, it's an okay track, but you're right. It's definitely not the best one here, and it takes a few to get running.
It does. All right, so we're going to make up for lost time here because I really want to get to some of the better tracks on here. This one I actually don't remember too much because it's the one that follows it that's really, really good. And just to tell you, now if you watch the video for the third track, which is Galactic, motherfucker, there's this big, long, stupid intro that's actually at the end of the track that we're going to listen to now. So we're actually not going to hear any of that.
That makes sense. I wondered why in the hell, because that was in my notes. I was like, why the hell is this interlude here at the end of this fucking song?
Yeah.
All right.
I remember listening to it and being completely thrown off. It's a weird thing to put at the beginning of the album, but all right, this is Dead Smile. You know, if he wasn't screaming like that, I would say that sounds actually a lot like Clutch.
Hey, I can see that. I was going to ask you about the vocals and what you thought of this guy. Does it wear on you, or are you okay with it?
It depends on how the song rolls out. When we get to like Roll and Burn, I feel like the vocals complement the musicianship much more. When he's just yelling, and you know, and it's when the songs drift towards the more metalish and the less stoner rockish, the less groove, I find it to be a little bit more grating.
Sure.
But when there's more groove, more blues, I think that rasp works very well.
Yeah, and Rollin' Burn's a perfect example. So when we hit that, that's just anybody out there that's listening, compare what we just heard when we get to track 5, because there are a couple points in this album where I'm like, okay, dude, just can we stop screaming just for a couple seconds? So you know, and it sounds like your cheese grater of a voice box is about to fall out. But yeah, it's
yelling at us.
I could take it so much, but Dead Smile was an okay song, by the way. I mean, I didn't think it was too bad. I had notes here about the interlude at the end of it. Like, I was like, what the hell is going on? They put some they have some synthesizer in there every once in a while and throw some neat things in the song. But yeah, I like Dead Smile. I don't think that one's a bad song at all.
Nope. All right, so this next one I really like. I bumped this a couple of times. I played it in our heavy metal group. Hey, Amanda Goodwin. You know, I've been promoting the video that's on YouTube. I really dig it. It's one of the big hits, such as they are, from this album. Jesse Starcher hates it.
I do not hate this song, but I will tell you right now, just get this out of the way. The beautiful people.
All right, keep it in your pants. This is Galactic, motherfucker.
Supersonic dancing like a monkey. Got it all up, flow like a motherfucker, something else funky. Got it all down, supersonic.
Okay, you dick. Now I can't get beautiful people out of my head.
And it's not clearly. It's not clearly ripping
It's
off
all
that NW.
relative to the size of your steeple, Galactic motherfucker.
Galactic motherfucker. I
goodness
do.
gracious.
I do agree with you though. This is one of the top songs off this album. I do like Galactic motherfucker. It's pretty good. What's the video like? You said you watched the video.
Oh,
Is
I mean,
trippy
I
as balls.
bumped the video just. Yeah, it's definitely tripping balls. Tripping balls, baby. So, did you hear Bill O'Reilly's no longer on Fox News?
I have heard smatterings of that about how someone was a while back. He was like, I want to take a leave of absence or a vacation or some shit, but that is because he has something to do with sexual harassment or something, or what was going on?
Yeah, he's gropey McTouchy, and he's the gropester. And no, he used his influence to sexually harass women that he's worked with. He's been doing this for years, and finally it just all kind of came to a head. And he used a lot of hush money to keep this down for a very long time. And I remember he addressed it once, on his radio show that I used to listen. His radio show was decidedly less bombastic than his television show. His television show was straight out of fucking Monday Night Raw. It's just that was just a half an hour of him cutting promos on people. But his radio show, he was a little bit more. He was a little bit more tolerable. And if you liked what he had to say, tolerable doesn't even begin to describe it. He was downright personable. And the chick that he did the show with, always seemed to think he knew what he was talking about, such as one can do publicly. But yeah, this has been the whole Bill O'Reilly being Gropey McTouchster. That's been going on for a really long time now, and I guess it all finally came to a head. And he's out of Fox News. But it's one of those deals where he's been making millions and millions of dollars for years now. This guy doesn't have to fucking work.
Yeah, dude.
It's he's not fucking hurting for cash.
No way.
You know what I mean? This is you can't fire me, I quit. All right.
Yeah. So did Fox News officially come out and say, okay, hey, look, he's done here, we're not having him back, or did he just kind of, go quietly into that good night and make it look like I'm not coming back for a while, or I'm not coming back at all?
No. As near as I can tell, and I'm actually looking at CBS Market Watch, I was. I'm off the page now. God damn it.
I asked the hard questions. The internet can't answer right then.
It is my understanding of the situation, without looking directly at the article, that Fox News pretty much put out okay, here, I'll go to NPR, because that's the first thing that came up on my feed. And for those of you, I don't follow NPR. Somebody I know follows NPR, and that's when she follows. And she, I ain't no liberal namby-pamby. Yes, my daughter. Fucking daughter's on Facebook, following NPR. Fox News is parting ways with Bill O'Reilly, who for years stood as one of cable news' most popular hosts. The network's parent company, 21st Century Fox, yeah, but it's on Fox, announced the move in a statement Wednesday. That's another Simpsons reference, by the way. After a thorough and careful review of allegations, the company and Bill O'Reilly have agreed that Bill O'Reilly will not be returning to Fox News Channel, the statement read. So, yeah, they were like, you're being voluntold, go the fuck home.
Yeah.
And he went, Roger Dodger.
I'm out.
Yeah, you can't really come back from this. I'm sure, he'll do something else, maybe.
Yeah, I could see his own podcast, own radio, or whatever, his own radio channel or something like that. Or, like you said, he's got plenty of money. He can just go ahead and hang out in the back. Why would you want... Now, I'm asking a question that I know many people have pondered before, but after a scandal like that, why would you want to be back in the public eye? Well, there's plenty of
Right.
fucking people who've done shit like that in the past. So, man,
Dude, he's almost 70 though. He's 67
Wow.
years old. He's fucking up there. Yeah. Have you ever seen young Bill O'Reilly when he was on? I think it was like a Current Affair.
no.
Just Google that shit. Throw that in your Google machine. Young Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. He grew into his face. I'll tell you that much. All right, back to our galactic motherfuckers here. Zombie Mode is Wrecking Yard. This is track 4. Love. I love you. Proceed.
1, 2, 3, 4. Give me lots of speed. Like brother God draws to me. Give me lots of speed. Western rock and roll outlaws, fueled by gasoline. Someone sold to the devil. Give a fuck what I mean. I live and die, I live again. My craft is so well fulfilled. I live and die, I live again. But for me, like black high. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Why better God draws to me? Give me love for free. Why better God draws to me? Give me love for free.
Ooh, I love that guitar there at the end of what I played. Oh, that was good stuff. All right, what do you think of that one?
This is my first example of repetitiveness. Okay? If you don't know the title of this song, you will hear it. I wish I could find the lyrics online, although I didn't take the time to sit there and count out how many times he would say, "Give me love for speed," because it seems like it was a lot. But that, hey, not my favorite. What was I going to say?
Oh, no, Jonas?
Yeah, that's right. It's not my favorite, man. There is. I was wanting to say earlier. There's a lot of words that describe these guys. They describe themselves as stoner blues, but and a lot of the reviews had different terminology. But one of the things that they did not use was the word punk. And if I said that you could hear some punk in that song, would I be wrong?
Oh no, you absolutely can hear punk in that.
Okay.
I mean, if nothing else, that one track has probably got the most punk influence of any track on here. It's all over that track.
When we get to track 6 after Roll and Burn with Fight, 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 that's another instance where I was like, man, there is some punk influence in here. So. Again, maybe that might be why I kind of tend to fall away from this song, because it's got that bit of punk influence, and everybody knows if anything else I hate worse than Slayer.
Oh boy,
it's punk rock. Just kidding, folks. Please don't get on your Twitters yet. Just kidding.
And you can send your hate mail to @KissNarkey.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I got notifications. Hold on.
I mean, I like the guitar in that one. Everything else about it. I mean, here I will say this: it's not why I would listen to this band. I don't go checking out this band for their punk songs.
Yeah.
You know, I want to hear the bluesy stoner rock type stuff. I want to hear that dirty, dirty blues.
Yeah.
So let's listen to some dirty, dirty blues.
Yeah, play it. Let's hear it.
This is track 5, baby. Dim the lights, smoke a bowl, roll and burn. If you could hear music emanating out of a pelvic thrust, that's what it would sound like.
What the hell kind of image? What image are you giving our listeners with that? What?
You know what a pelvic thrust is. Come on. Think of some shapely female wiggling those hips in a rhythmic fashion. I mean, I'm not talking belly dance here. We're talking that rings of Saturn. You know, just writhing those hips. Right? If music were to emanate from those hips, it would sound like roll and burn. You've got to know what I'm saying.
Okay, now I get you. See, what I made the mistake of was equating it to the documentary that I just watched last night, which was I Am Chris Farley, and the Patrick Swayze Chris Farley sketch from Saturday Night Live where he is the Chippendales dancer. That was where I thought you were going, sir. Hey, it was the last thing in my mind, okay?
Whatever. I think pelvic thrust. I think hot women writhing on top of, motorcycles. You think
motorcycle.
You think Patrick Swayze. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Man, don't let my wrong analogy here, whatever, my mental picture ruin this. This song is tremendous. Is it not? It's it is the 1 star that I give or I see off this album. There's another blues song that kind of pops up here later, but man, I love this one. This is where the bread is buttered on this album.
Yeah. Bread is buttered is a good way to phrase it. This is a sexy, sexy song, man. This is just covered like Waffle House chicken and waffles, like Waffle House hash, smothered and covered in sex appeal.
Smothered and covered,
like how I backed up and tried that one again. Wait a minute, you don't smother and cover the fucking chicken and waffles. What's wrong with me? No, it's just this whole song. That whole song is all sex appeal all the time, and we don't necessarily delve into that sort of thing here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Your Wednesday night mess around with a disapproving dad, Jesse Starcher, and your old pal Wheezy, Mr. Mark Radulich, left dance enthusiast. But
it's on the card.
I calls it as I calls it as a season, and when I hear that, I'm just like, yeah, that's a play it for your date, okay? Bring the girl home, dim the lights, light a candle, play that for her. The pants will come off by themselves. They'll literally just take flight and run off the body.
Right off of her.
That's right. Take it from me, your old pal Weezy. You want to get into the girl's pants, play some Roll and Burn, baby. Roll and Burn.
And what's
women
what's kind of scary is the subject matter of the song. If you listen to it, it's rather simple, but it sounds like it's telling a story about some guy coming home and finding his wife who has sleeping with another man. So I'm curious as to what exactly Roll and Burn has to do with that. And all, it's easy stoner rock when you see Roll and Burn. You went right into it, but the subject matter of the actual song, it's a blues song. You're kind of, you feel sad for the guy that's singing it, and it makes me wonder, like, this stands out amongst the rest. I would love to hear what other songs they have in their repertoire or things that they're getting ready to put out, because if they do more of this, man, I would have been all over this album. I love that. I love that type of stuff.
You hear that, you Aussie fuckers? Less of this punk rock bullshit, less of you screaming and carrying on, more Roll and Burn, okay?
Bring it on.
That's your direction from the Metal Hammer of Doom, the experts in all things heavy metal and rock and roll, baby.
That's right.
All right. Speaking of which, speaking of Fight, Radulich, Fight, this is track 6. This is Fight, Fight, Fight.
Let's go!
Fight. That's all I hear you fucking say. I mean, it's fine. It's nice and aggressive.
It's a good way to come back from slowing it down with Roll and Burn. I will definitely give it that credit, because they are doing a great job in this album by not keeping things samey. You drop something like Roll and Burn and then come back with Fight, Fight, Fight. I mean, the crowd's going to go nuts. And they don't even, as punk as that song kind of sounded, they do mix it up in the middle of the song where they really slow it down for a bit. And then they pick it right back up with Fight, 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 at the end of the song. So it's with about a minute left, you go back into what it started with. So it's an okay song. It was one of those ones I marked down as kind of repetitious, but I can't really say that when they slow it down and make it actually more of a song than it is actual punk anthem.
Yeah, I mean, I like the song. I know, we've been talking about like we like it better when they do more of the stoner rock stuff than the heavier stuff. But this one had a good rock ethos to it. And certainly any song that's got the word fight in it, I'm going to be attracted to. Not just because of my situation. Don't read into that. I was like this before the thing. So, all right. Here we go to our title track. This is track 7. We are dangerously close to a very short show here. I'm impressed with us. We are even with 20 minutes of mess
tighter.
around.
As the weeks go on, the tighter the show gets.
Yes. And when Robert Winfrey comes back, Robert Cooper rather comes back, I'm sure we'll go back to 2 hours of us trying to figure out his dating life.
We will find something to talk about. That's for damn sure.
But in the meantime, we got ourselves a tight little show here. This is our title track. Speaking of tight shows, this song is awesome. This is one of the better songs on here. This sums it all up, takes it all home, and ties it all together. This is Supersonic Rock and Roll. So good. See, like I said, that Roland Byrne, Galactic motherfucker, that's the essence of this album right there. Everything else is just filler.
Yeah, this song's 5 minutes long, and if you ain't already lit up halfway through it and got the car in neutral, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, to be honest.
Let the vortex pull my weight.
That's right, baby. Man, that's some great stuff right there. Yeah, I agree. Supersonic Rock and Roll, another one of the top tracks off this album. There's one thing that I'd like our listeners to know. Hey, we bring these songs to you. You get a chance to listen to them. But one thing you may not notice is that these songs are in mono, from what I understand. This isn't in stereo. It's due to the quality. At one time, I think that Blog Talk played with the higher quality MP3 uploads. But now, unfortunately, that went by the wayside. So we're back to low-quality mono stuff. And when you have your headphones in and you listen to this song, you cannot help but notice how great and how magnificent the guitar is and how overpowering it feels. They do some great stuff with the bass, but I could tell you right now that lead guitar that you hear in this song is it is a example of what guitar in a song should sound like, especially a stoner rock song. So I dug it, and one of my notes here was make sure to mention the guitar because it does sound great in this song, especially when you have high quality recording to listen to. Go out and get the album for sure.
I mean, look, the guitarist is not exactly Stevie Ray Vaughan here, but the man knows how to play his instrument. That's for certain.
Yeah. It's not technical by any means, but damn, I mean, when you hear a good riff, you and I both know that you can hear a good riff and you're like, okay, that's my song. That's my jam.
Yeah. And we definitely, in our Facebook chat sessions, sent each other a couple of tracks here saying, no, this is the jam, that's the jam. There's some good riffy jams on this album, and we've already played quite a number of them as we lurch towards the end here. One of the ones that was very popular in the reviews that I saw was this next one. This is track 8. This is Bad Boy Betty. Nobody leaves here without singing the blues.
I hadn't watched that movie up until probably about 3 years ago.
Really? You've never seen it before?
Yeah, we're talking Adventures in Babysitting to our listeners out there. I'd never seen it. And I'm an Elizabeth Shue fan. I do enjoy the shoe. Man, it had been a while.
Get your shoe on, get your shoe on, get your shoe on.
Get your shoe on, get your shoe on. Oh, man. Missy Elliott. I don't know if I'm a fan of her or not.
So I'm looking at the, by the way, that's a great song. I'm looking at the list of heavy metal albums, the Wikipedia page. New 311 just announced June 23rd.
I was about to ask, that's metal?
It was listed in the metal Wikipedia page along with Nickelback. I want to give you a penny back.
Better clutch on.
You know,
keep a tight clutch on that nickel, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just throwing it out there. It's new 311. I mean, I don't think we're going to cover it because fuck those guys. But, you know, I'm just... Do they have Scar Symmetry listed yet as for a release? Supposedly it's supposed to be this year sometime, but I have not seen anything. Starts with an that's
S.
your jam, right? I understand. You were all about that shit, man.
I'll be wearing the shirt when we see each other. If we see each other in person in July, I will have my Scar Symmetry shirt on at the Clutch concert. Did you buy
your ticket?
Yeah, I bought my ticket a long time ago. I thought I told you, dude.
Okay,
I'm seeing you there. I'm gonna be there.
I don't know where you got this if shit from. I'm gonna be there, and we're gonna get we're gonna get a sandwich somewhere in Pittsburgh before the show. All right,
yeah.
The Singularity Phase 2 is scheduled for sometime in 2017. They did not give a date yet.
No date. To be determined. All right.
It's spring. I mean, we're into fucking April here. We're almost into May.
Yeah.
So, I mean, May is pretty much it before summer. So I would imagine sometime soon, which means we won't get to it until our free date on the calendar isn't going to be until, you know what, July. And it's actually the first free date on the calendar is the Wednesday that we'll be driving up to Pittsburgh.
Preceding the concert.
Yes. So come to think of it. Actually, you know what? You and Robert Cooper, if that ends up being the case, if it comes out between now and then, you can have that date to do Scar Symmetry, just the two of you. Just the two of you. Because prior to that,
me and Coop.
That's right. Prior to that, we'll be reviewing the new Dying Fetus, unless something better comes along. Prior to that, Tankard. Prior to that, Iced Earth. Prior to that, Transformers soundtrack. Prior to that, Nickelback.
So you got to get through the shit to get to the gems.
Prior to that, Unleash the Archers. That's going to be where I'm going to be at U2, and you guys will be running the show for me. Prior to that, Dream Evil 6.
This is where we go. This is where we go over the schedule backwards.
Prior to that, Ailstorm, No Grave But the Sea.
Oh yeah.
Prior to that, Dragon Force, Reaching into the Infinity. Prior to that, Danzig, Black Laden Crown. Assuming that comes out on time. And because Robert fucking Cooper twisted my arm, prior to that, May 10th, Vampire with Primeval Force. Prior to that, on May 3rd, in 2 weeks, we'll have to start late on this show because I might be coming home from Disney Springs. Going to be eating at the Polite Pig, Jesse Starcher. Meeting with the man who designed our Fight Radulich Fight T-shirt, Mr. John Brodigan, formerly known as the Freak Boy. He'll be coming into town for his political shenanigans. And we're going to meet over at the Polite Pig at Disney Springs and have ourselves some good old-fashioned street barbecue.
Awesome.
What that means is that we'll be coming home with the kiddies, and we will not be able to get to the show probably until about 10 o'clock. We'll be reviewing the new Life of Agony, a place where there's no more pain, baby doll. And next week, right here on When in Rome Week on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, we got Ex Dio, the Immortal War. So what I'm trying to tell you is that your Scar Symmetry dreams and salutations are not happening until July.
Well, they got to release the fucking album first. This thing was supposed to be released last year, so it's not like I got my. It's not like I'm sitting here holding my breath because it seems like everything that occurs, it continues to get delayed, or they just ain't got their shit together, and they're saying this 2017, so we'll fucking see.
You tell those people to get the fuck on with it already, all right?
Dude, they got songs about robots to sing. and I don't understand why we can't fucking hear them.
So this just came up in my Facebook feed. 10 masturbation pros for women and men according to science. Having a session with yourself is actually good for your health, according to culturalcollectiva.com.
For a second there, I thought you meant, when you said pros, I thought you meant like professionals. Like you got the top 10 masturbation professionals showing up on your feed. Like, that's an interesting group you subscribe to there.
I'm part of a Facebook group. Top 10 professional masturbators.
I'm just outside the top 10. I'm working in my way up.
Oh, I'm working it all right.
Oh.
See you work it. All right.
Poor fucking Missy
Track
Elliott.
9.
How does that fucking happen?
All Missy Elliott all the time on the Metal Hammer of Doom, your Wednesday night mess around.
Negative.
Negative. All right. There's a lot of, you might be listening to this little conversation we got going on here, this little back and forth, and you might be thinking, Jesse Starcher, the disapproving dad, Mr. Mark Radulich, the mandated reporter, lap dance enthusiast, just fucking no. Just no. Knock it off. Write a joke. Just stop. And you would be in line with this next song, The God of No. It's not bad. As we're winding down here, we're starting to fall away from some of the stronger tracks. You know, it's that falls nicely into he's nice, but he's too big.
It actually is too big. It's the second longest song on the album. And it's not exactly my favorite as well. This is one of the ones where I didn't even have the capability to write notes about it other than just meh. I mean, it was okay. It feels like a filler song. Like, hey, we only got 9 tracks. We need to throw something else in here. Well, I've been working on this one called God of No. Okay, throw it in there. It just doesn't feel as impactful as the rest of this album does. So I'm right there with you. I didn't think too much of it.
All right. Let's move along here to our final track. It's track 10 on the Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard. Supersonic Rock and Roll. This song is track 10, called Judas. They ended pretty strong there. I definitely more of the kind of sound I'm looking for with this band. Pretty good track, pretty good way to end the album. Overall, I'm going to give this a solid B. A little too much of a departure at times from, I think, what is their truly their best sound. Hoping their next outing, kind of like Clutch, they know where their bread is buttered and they stick with that without getting a little too samey. But overall, a good effort from the band, and definitely one that I will. This is one that I'll keep a watch on, see what else they got coming in the years to come.
Okay. As for myself, the reviews on this album tend to be varied from somewhat decent to rock is fun. Now that last track, Judas, I agree, definitely sent us out. I like that track. It's of all the ones up there, it's definitely. It's probably top 5. There's 10 tracks here, but regardless, it's up there in the top. I liked it. Now, while I did complain about a bit of repetitiveness, I don't think the album delved into samey in any way, shape, or form. As we just listened, it seemed like almost every track was different from the one previous to it. So they did a great job of keeping things mixed up. There's a respectable mix of sound from song to song, picking up the pace and slowing it down, much like Sweet Sweet Love with a biker chick should be. I don't think. I don't. Now here's the thing. I don't think I'll be coming back to the album that often. I mean, I'll probably check it out a couple more times. But there was one guy who said, it's probably you'll spin it a couple times and then you'll go back in and grab the tracks that you really gravitated towards and put them on a playlist or something like that. So that's most likely the category that I would fall into. But I am glad that I had the opportunity to listen and discuss these guys, because with this being their first album and hitting the scene, I think they did a fine job of putting something together that tells people who they are, where they're coming from, and what they've got to show. So hopefully it's nowhere but up from here, because we know a lot of times when you're just starting out, the more time you get into touring and putting music out there, the better your songs are going to get. So, Mark, we may be seeing the ground floor of something that may get even better as time goes on. So I'll easily give this album a thumbs up.
All right. Well, Roland Byrne has officially made the 2017 Best of the Metal Hammer of Doom playlist. right after No Lives Matter and The Storm Breather by Mastodon. Roll and burn, baby. Zombie Motors Wrecking Yard. And I can finally take that off the list. Now, if you're looking for some more stoner rock, we didn't get to it this year. We tend not to do EPs, and this is only 6 tracks long. But if you are in the mood for some stoner rock after you've listened to this album and you're trying to find some new bands out there, check out the new drop from Vermilion Whiskey, Spirit of Tradition. Road King, The Past is Dead, Come Find Me, Monolith, One Night, Load It Up. I sent this out a little ways back to Jesse, wanted him to check it out. I dig it. It's not one we're going to be able to get to, but it's definitely worth a listen. Throw it in your Google machine. Check it out on the old YouTube. Vermilion Whiskey, Spirit of Tradition. Really good stoner rock. Excellent collection of 6 songs. It's 28 minutes of your life that you'll absolutely you won't mind parting with. So give that a shot. Vermilion Whiskey. And that's it for us. This is Here in My Cars Week here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. Like I said, we did the Wacky Races on Monday. We reviewed The Fate of the Furious last night on Damn You Hollywood. Tomorrow night on Trial, we'll be looking at Dude, Where's My Car? And then Jesse Starcher and the one and only Ronnie Adams, he speaks for the trees. He'll be he'll be the old Screaming Boy podcast. They'll be looking at famous movie cars. And that's going to wrap up our 5 shows dedicated to all things cars. Next week, we're just having some fun here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. It's all about, having fun, fun with themes, fun with shows. We're going to do something a little I like to call When in Rome Week. And that's just because I happened to put together a couple of shows that worked out that had a Roman theme to them. And I'm like, hey, let's do a whole week of this shit. It's not something I'm going to throw a lot of money into. No Facebook ads this time around. But we're just having some fun here. We're going to do some Pax Romana from Jonathan Hickman on Monday. That's the old source material. Andrew Graham, friend of the network, he's our man when we look to military and fighting. We're going to look at TV Party tonight for Roman Empire, Reign of Blood on the old Netflix. Metal Hammer of Doom. Hopefully we'll have Robert Cooper back. This was his pick, actually, and I made him wait till this week to do it. Hopefully he'll be able to get out of his job and join us, since this is his pick to begin with. This is Ex-Dio, The Immortal Wars, which is all about the fall of Rome. And then finally, because Pat Mullen's making me, we're going to review the Lizzie McGuire movie, Hot Diggity. So I really hope you guys have a tremendous in-depth conversation on that show. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to analyze the fuck out of that movie.
Best movie 2017 I've watched. Unreal.
And then the following week, on May 3rd, the Metal Hammer of Doom returns proper to albums as they come out. Finally, it's one I've been waiting for a long time. Life of Agony is one of my favorite bands. Jesse Starcher, you know how I told you I'm all about the digital, I'm not about the physical? Well, I actually went on the old Napalm Records, and I pre-ordered the physical Life of Agony album. Why? Because it came with a T-shirt. That's why. I needs me a new Life of Agony T-shirt. Mina Caputo, I support you in your transgenderism. So, Metal Hammer of Doom, Life of Agony, a place where there's no more pain. I can't wait. We're going to review it May 3rd. They've already dropped a couple of singles. It's going to be a fantastic time. Jesse Starcher, what do you got in the old plug machine?
Aha! Ladies and gentlemen, go give the Radulich and Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. We run the gamut of things. We got, the guys from W2M.net. Sean Garmer hooking us up with some great wrestling content. We got Stuart Lang hooking us up with some great video game podcasts out there. Just listen to 3 of those straight in a row. Sean Comer was on there a couple podcasts ago, so check it out, folks. I got a source material podcast. That's the podcast that I'm a part of. Mark already mentioned there. We talk about comics and a lot of some of the great and not so great stories that come out of the comic book medium. And we've been focusing on quite a few of the not so great ones here, Mark. Notice I put your name there at the end of that. Oh, hey, let's listen to that. Last Metal Hammer of Doom, folks. You could probably hear the great Mark Radulich. You could hear the light bulb actually buzzing at the top of his head as soon as we figured out Wacky Race was a thing, and they made a comic about it. But
listen,
anyway, you can
listen, man.
Go ahead.
I went to the bookstore today. I bought my son some Ninja Turtle books. That's what he wanted. I bought my daughter a Batman book featuring Catwoman for her, and I bought myself Harley Quinn and Power Girl. It's the greatest comic book ever committed to paper. Okay?
Oh, come on now.
This thing was fan-fucking-tastic. We should have done a source material on that shit. 6 issues of sci-fi and huge tits. Tits, I tell you, just huge Power Girl boobs.
The old boob window. Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, keep it handy. Maybe sometime we have a spot open. I'm sure we could squeeze that in there. But yeah, folks.
I was so excited about this that I actually finished Power Outage as soon as I was done with it. I was like, here, Jonas, here's the TV, here's the snack, here's some water. Fuck off. I'm going to go in the room and read. I'm going to go in the room and read Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I can see it right now. I'm going to read my Harley Quinn Power Girl, and I'm going to make my way up that top 10 professional list.
That's right. And I was so excited when I was done with it. I actually pulled out from the mothballs of the books I have not finished reading yet, Harley Quinn Volume 2, 9 through 13, Power Outage, and I finished it right before dinner tonight because I was excited about this. Yeah, I was a double shot. I was excited that I just couldn't hide it. Harley Quinn and Power Girl, the team up for the new age. They are the revival of comic book characters. You put these two together, it's a winning combination. We need to talk about it sometime on a source material podcast. It doesn't get any better than Harley Quinn and Power Girl.
All right,
Boob
very cool.
Window. Boob window.
All right. So anyway, yeah, go give the Radulich Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like. Yeah, Mark mentioned the Screaming Boy episode that will be dropping, I think, this Friday. Me, Ronnie Adams, Adam Runyon, we discussed a BuzzFeed article about the top 20-plus cars from movies. Hilarity was had where we briefly posited a Batman/Driving Miss Daisy mashup. Yeah, I got that crazy. Please rate and subscribe. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn Radio. And also right here on Blog Talk Radio. Just search Radulich. I'm sure you're going to be easily able to find us there. You can follow me at Stiznarchy on Twitter, and Source Material has a SourceMattCast at SourceMattCast on Twitter. And that, I believe, is that, Mark Radulich.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We'll be back next week, as I said, with Ex-Dio, The Immortal Wars. Hopefully, Robert Cooper will be joining us. I know Jesse Starcher will be here because he's the man. With that said, be well, be safe, and behave.